Hey everyone, Alex Italanda here. This will be a shorter intro. If you want the full one, check out the first part of the Behind the Ostium series, which I highly recommend if you want to do this in order. And if you enjoyed the first episode and would like access to the whole series, you can do that on the Ostium Network Patreon at patreon.com/ostiumpodcast. At the $5 tier, you can get access to the 40-plus episodes of the Behind the Ostium series, plus ad-free episodes of the Ostium Network shows, and a whole bunch of bonus material. So let's get started with the next episode of Behind the Ostium, where I sit down with Dwayne Farver of the Manifestations podcast and a big fan of the show, and we talk about the ins and outs of our favorite show, the Ostium podcast.
So then we have episode, what are we up to? 6,
8.
7, 8? Back to the Future, because I had to find a reason to use that title at some point, and this was the perfect one. And especially since I had realized probably, I want to say even before the Visitors episode, that it was kind of an oh shit moment. I never had them pick up a trinket from Mars, which I'd been setting up all along, that I had to bring back a trinket each time. And I realized I totally forgot to put that in there when they left Mars, because there was the big scene where he was chasing Monica and totally forgot to do that. So, instead of saying, well, let's go back and fix that and do it, and put a scene in there so it's correctly done, I just said, well, no, I'm just going to stick with the story. This is how it's going. And they have to go back there and fix that problem that never got solved, because you got to fix all you can't break the rules of Ostium, right? You got to follow it how it's supposed to be. But it also gave me a chance then to show that at this point, Ostium had fully connected to Jake, where we open with Monica's point of view, and she tries to go through one of the doors just to see if she can, and finds it's severed now. She cannot do that. She needs Jake now just as much as he needs her, and therefore it creates a further link now between them, where in the previous episode we have the severing of the link with the real world. In this one now we have a new link made between the two of them, a bond where they need each other to get through all this. And plus it was a chance to give Monica's point of view. Ooh. Email? Text? That's fine.
Turn that off.
Plus it was a chance to give Monica's point of view, her voice again, which we hadn't seen since her first episode. So it was more of a chance to kind of feel her voice and her character coming out in that way. And in this episode, we also see, it's almost like we get to go back to Mars and pick out the details that we might have missed first time round. And we also see Jake gaining a little more control. He's starting to be able to have possibly some control of the blackness and just feel a little more comfortable in traveling through these doors of Ostium to these different places. Because he's done it enough times now, he's becoming more familiar with it, more confident, and also picking up that there is this connection between him and Ostium. He doesn't know why or what it entails exactly, but he knows it's there, and he knows it's important. I go even further with that, where with the data pad and Jake's logging in, and it recognizes him. But then the other part of this was, I also wanted to now then to give Monica her own kind of subplot, her own reason now for being in Ostium. Because if Ostium was fully connected with Jake, that was kind of his resolution to reach, is why Ostium was connected to Jake, which kind of left Monica with nothing else to do. So I had to give her something, which was where we have the development of the character of Steve and her needing to find out what happened to him. We have the data pad and the video, and there she knows kind of what events he chose to do, and then that he's still possibly alive somewhere out there in the world of Ostium, and that her request now is then to go and see if she can find Steve.
I did like how she starts to confess that she's been holding back on her story, even before the finding of the data pad.
I think that was I was playing a bit with her character of being from the military and the, Black Ops, top secret, that's classified, can't tell you that. So a little bit of that, and also, a closeness developing between her and Jake, and that I'm stuck with this guy, we're in Ostium together now, and if we're going to get through with this, we have to start being honest with each other, and that becomes an ongoing, almost kind of overarching theme of the next season 2 of trust and, where it leads you.
And the the finality of using the data pad to activate the map was kind of I would call it a touching moment. Because Jake almost didn't want to do it, but Monica knew they had to do it. So, but it would lose the video that she had of Steve.
Yeah, because he was able to recognize how important it was to her, and this was one thing that she could hold on to. But again, the law of Ostium says you've got to put it on the map table to complete the... got to catch them all, right?
Exactly. And so this is when I finally started to empathize with Monica as a character, and she's really grown on me since.
And I think she... it's obviously a kind of a first sacrifice she has to make, but because she now has kind of in her heart knowing that Steve is alive, she doesn't necessarily need a physical proof of him on the video because she knows herself that it's true. She has the proof. So she's able to let that material device go, but still know in her heart that he is alive out there somewhere and she needs to find him.